me today is Shelly, one of our Pilates instructors, and I'm going to be teaching Shelly and you a little mini Pilates workout that you can do anywhere. All you need is a little TheraBand. We're specifically going to focus on core strength and also getting a little arm strengthening in as well. So, as we get started, we're going to have Shelly take her band and kind of wrap it around her feet. Now, I like that band kind of nice and wide so it's not going to curl up. We're going to start with a little half roll back. She's going to hug her legs in tight and kind of keep a nice little bend on there, connecting her shoulders. As she inhales, she's going to tuck her pelvis and just roll like halfway down. It's kind of that hard spot in the middle. And then exhale, she's going to curl forward. She's going to stretch her arms and really stretch her spine as she comes forward. Inhale, tucking her tail and curling on the way down. And then as she exhales, she's going to press and round up and over. That whole time she's anchoring down through her heels, really pressing in, getting that whole body work that whole time. And let's do one more like that. Inhale, curling back. As she exhales, she presses but keeps her shoulder blades down. This time we're going to curl back to that kind of halfway place and we're going to stay there. We're going to add a little arm work in. So wherever that place is where it's work, but you're not straining, you can always come higher if you want work to be there, right, Shelly? Get her hold there. All right, we're going to do a little bicep curl. She's going to kind of turn her hands. As she holds that position, she's going to inhale, bend, and exhale, straighten. This does not need to be a big movement. You will feel that work. She's working to keep her shoulders down, to keep rounded through her low back. You can have straight legs or a little more bent if that feels better on your back. And then we're going to do two more there. Yeah, and just inhale and exhale. Keep that breath going. We'll do one more. And then take a big breath and let yourself curl forward. And again, maybe press out with that band and stretch your spine. Beautiful. All right, we're going to do another little version of that half roll back. And I'm going to have Shelly bend those knees maybe just a little bit more. All right, so we're going to curl halfway back and just be there a moment. This is our rotation or twist. As you inhale, you're going to pull your elbow back, twist and look behind you. And then exhale as you come back to center. We're going to shoot for 5 on each side. Inhale, she turns her rib cage. Exhale as you come back. And those arms are working because you're pulling back with that elbow to help you get that rotation. Legs are still active. We're pushing those heels into the mat. Every time, just getting a little more of that twist and rotate. Coordinating that breath with that movement. Ton of work. Great oblique work as we twist and come back. Good. I think we have one more on each side on there. Elbow reaches and back center. And one last one. We'll do a little pause. Take a big inhale. Exhale. Curl all the way forward. Take that little stretch movement at the top. We're going to take this into your full roll down. Inhale. Start curling back. Exhale. You get to go all the way down to the mat. Straight legs are fine. If it feels better with bent knees, you can bend the legs as well. Either is fine. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, you're going to stretch forward. You're going to really reach the arms out, which is a lot of work. Inhale, curling back, pressing those heels in. Exhale to roll down. And then again, we're going to take like 3 more of these. That little bend in the knees can often help you curl a little more in your spine. So if you're having like a sticky spot in the middle or a hard time coming up, play around with bending those knees just a little bit more. Inhaling for half, exhale, we stretch the arms out. That curling down, trying to feel every little piece of your back just roll into the mat as you're coming down. Let's take one more there. Inhale halfway. Exhale, that kind of spine stretch movement right there. And then we're going to roll all the way down to the mat and kind of finish there. And I'm going to have Shelly leave her right foot in, but take her left foot out and just stretch the leg up to the ceiling. So with her standing leg, that left leg, it's heel pressing in, nice and anchored. We're going to keep a flex in this foot. She's holding the band. It almost feels like a little bit of a bicep curl. She's rolling her shoulders back, and so she's got a little work in the arms. As she inhales, she's going to push through the heel, lengthen the leg, keep the abdominals tight. It gets to be more and more work at the bottom. Exhale as you bring the leg back, really anchoring through that hip. Inhale, lengthen and stretch, keeping abdominals tight up and in. Exhale, you come back, and it's that kind of nice little hamstring stretch at the top. Inhale, reaching on. We're going to shoot for 5 of each of these. So we'll take a couple more on there. That left leg is staying active, so you get a little hip opening on that left side. Beautiful. We'll do one more there. And up. And then we're going to take it into what I call a little tick-tock, and I'm gonna have Shelly point her foot on this one. She gets to reach a little bit through that ankle. As she inhales, she's gonna reach the leg across her center. You're gonna get this nice stretch through the outer leg. As she exhales, drawing her belly in to bring the leg back over that hip. Inhale, lengthen, stretch. She's keeping her shoulders really anchored, and then using those core muscles to come back. Inhale to stretch and reach across. Fine if you want to lift that hip as you reach across. And we'll take 2 more in there. That reach, yeah, maybe get a little lift of the hips so we start to twist through the back, but we're still keeping those shoulders anchored. And good. And then I'm going to have Shelly just bring her other foot up to switch out. We'll do that all on the other side. So taking a moment to get anchored. Both feet flex. In this first one, we're anchoring that heel. We're going to flex this foot and really stretch through the back of the leg. Inhale, we're going to reach the leg down. And then exhale as you come up. Shelly's doing that nice big movement, and that is fine as long as you're feeling safe in your back. The lower that leg goes, the more core work it is. So if it starts to bother your back, just take it a little smaller movement. Good. We're shooting for 5 on each side. I think we got 2 more on there. Shelly's continuing to keep those shoulders rolled down and back, so we're getting that work through those arms. Good. Let's pause there. Let's go into that little tick-tock. She's going to point her foot. This leg is staying strong and active as she inhales. She's going to reach across towards me and get that stretch. Exhale, drawing her belly in to come back center. Inhale that reach across, keeping left shoulder anchored. Exhaling as she comes back. That feeling of creating length in your leg, a little spiral through your low back. Good. 2 more on there. You can play with like really anchoring this leg, which will make that one have to work a little bit too. 1 last one. And back. Good. Nice. We're going to take a little transition to come up. So you can really push your foot in. Let yourself kind of rock up to sitting. Yeah, curl up. We're going to go into our rolling like a ball next. You can double up. I kind of like to double up the band on this first one. Hold the ends of it. We're going to put our feet in the band. So kind of toes, balls of the feet. And then we're going to lift our feet and find our balance. We're in that rounded, lifted spine. It should be work just to be here. We're working on shoulders down, elbows wide. Shelly's going to initiate from her sitting bones, lifting her hips to roll back. Exhale as you roll forward. Most important on these, we want that rolling back and forth through our spine. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. And then we're going to take it into a little open leg rocker. So we are going to open that band up so that we can have our feet a little bit wider in our band. So hip width apart, just kind of nice in there. You can choke up on the band as much as you want. So we're going to start just balancing here, that lifted C curve. As you inhale, you're going to stretch the legs out and then exhale to bend them back in. As you stretch them out, spread your legs a little bit. So those outer thighs have to press out. Good. And then exhale to come back. Good, let's do 2 more like that. That core work just to balance and hold that upper body still in that lifted C curve. We're going to get to that next one and we're going to hold it. And you may not get those legs all the way straight. It is fine to have them a little bent or more. And we're going to go into our rock or our roll. Inhale to rock back. Exhale to curl up into that balance. Lifting your sitting bones to initiate that curl back and then curling forward. Nice full breath. You're trying to hold that shape as you rock back and forth, which is not easy with that band because it's gonna move. It has some give to it. Let's do 1 more on there. And back up. Nice. And then let's just bring those feet down to the mat for a moment. We're gonna take our band off. We're gonna double up the band. And then Shelly, go ahead and just roll down to your mat. We're going to take the band and use it to support our head. So you really want the band kind of right at the base of the skull. So it kind of cups the skull a little bit, gives you a little support. The elbows are reaching forward. We have our feet and knees together, just nice and anchored. We're going to do a little upper ab curl here. As you inhale, you're going to tuck your chin and curl your spine forward. And then as you exhale, you're going to roll down and really lengthen the neck as you're rolling back down. Inhale, our hips and our legs are holding still and we curl. Exhale, that feeling of kind of pressing the back of your skull into the band to lengthen the neck. Let's take 3 more. That curling up and then rolling back down. We want that articulation through our neck and upper back. And then that roll to come back. Let's take 1 more just like that. And good. And then we're going to add a little more difficulty to that. We're gonna take our legs up to tabletop. And if this feels like too much to come here, you could always leave your feet on the mat. It is work just to hold your legs here, keep your belly tight up and in and not strain in your back. As Shelly curls up, this time she's gonna pull her thighs toward her, and then as she rolls down, she's gonna bring her legs back to that tabletop position. Inhale to curl forward. Exhale to lengthen back out that whole time, initiating from your center, from those deep abdominal muscles, and rolling back. Let's take 2 more of those. Inhale to curl, tail and head lift toward each other, and then they roll back down to the mat. We got 1 more there, and then roll down. Nice. All right, let's bring those feet all the way down to the mat. We're going to keep that band back there behind the head. We're going to add a little of oblique work into this. So a little more coordination on this one. Let's start with your right leg. As you inhale and curl up, you bring the right leg in, and then you exhale, twist toward the leg, staying in that curl. Inhale back to center. Exhale, the leg comes down as you roll your spine back down to the mat, and then we switch. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, we twist, looking at that back elbow. Inhale back to center. Exhale, we come back down. We're going to shoot for 4 more on each side, 5 on each side. Curl up, rotate and twist, back to center, rolling back down. The whole time we're keeping those hips nice and anchored. So when she twists, she holds her leg and her hip still and twists from that upper body and rolls back down. To do that, you got to really use the standing leg as well, anchoring down into the mat with that leg, and then that roll to come back. Good. Supporting with that band so we're not straining with that neck. Rolling to come back. Good. Let's do 1 more on each side because I've lost count. You're counting, right, Shelly? And then roll back down. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, that twist. Back to center. And then rolling back down. Good. You can take that band off. Let's go ahead and just roll up to sitting. We're going to move into our seated chest expansion. What we're going to do is spread the band wide, wrap it around the feet, open the feet up, maybe mat width on there. Make sure your heels can be nice and anchored. We want to start by just finding that nice tall spine. So I want to see that Shelly's heels are anchored and her sitting bones. If your hamstrings are tight, you might need to bend your knees to find your tall spine. You want to be up on your sitting bones, pelvis upright. You want to have this nice alignment so that your head is right over your rib cage, right over your hips. From here, with nice big breath, as you inhale and the arms are straight, you pull the band back, hold it, look over one shoulder, look over the other shoulder, come back to center, exhaling, bringing the band to that start position. As you pull back, imagine growing a little taller, stretching our neck, moving just our head, keeping those shoulders as still as you can. It is a ton of work just to keep that lifted tall spine, and then we add in that little stretch as you come back to center. We're going to do 2 more on there every time. See if you could get that little bit taller. Look one way, look the other, back to center to lift those arms. We got one last one. That little bonus tricep press by pulling into that strap. And back center, nice. All right, we're going to take it into our spine stretch next. So we're still in that tall spine. We're kind of imagining we're up against a wall. We take a nice big full inhale, lifts us a little more, and as you exhale, you curl, neck, upper back, mid back, low back, stretching the arms wide, and then inhale to stack up through that low back, mid back, upper back, and she brings the head right over top the rib cage. And then we do that again. So that big inhale, we exhale to curl and squeezing out that breath in that end range. Maybe that second little bonus exhale. And then big full inhale to roll up, vertebra by vertebra, restacking up the spine. We'll take 3 more, curling and just spreading the arms, opening the shoulders. And then that energy from your center, lifting on your sitting bones, lifting up through that crown, right into that next one. Tuck the chin, pressing out. Those arms are working to spread the band. Nice big inhale as we stack back up, lifting as tall as you can. Good, we have one last one. Curling forward, spreading the arms as you round up and over. And then one last stacking up as tall as you can. Your best lift up. Nice. All right, we are going to end our little workout with one of my favorite exercises, teaser, with our TheraBand. So we're going to have Shelly roll back to the mat. I like to really choke up quite a bit on it, at least on your first teasers on here. That's going to give you more support. All right. So feet comfortably in there, head can start on the mat. As she inhales, she's going to start curling up. Tuck her chin, push with her legs, lift into that first teaser. Exhale, she rolls through that low back, bends the knees in, and rolls back to the mat. Good. Using that band as something to push into, gives us that little extra lift. And then that articulation through our spine, rolling down and pulling the knees back in. Let's do like 3 more. You can keep with this version, or Shelly, we're going to have her hold there. You can try a straight leg as you come down. So you're going to still get the same curl, and you're going to reach with those legs. Maybe those feet and head come down at the same time. When she comes up, she's going to start with the chin tucking in. She's going to float the legs up, really lift, and then rolling right back down, reaching long with the legs. It's like she's getting longer as she comes back down. Let's do that. 2 more there. Lift, 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 lift. And then that rolling to come back down. We're going to do one last one where we're going to hold at the top and add just a little bonus in. Find your best teaser. Be lifted strong in your center. As you inhale, you're going to pull your elbow back and twist, just like we did in the beginning. Exhale, back center. Let's shoot for 3 on each side. Ton of work to leave those legs reaching into the strap, twisting the rib cage, but keeping those hips nice and anchored. Back, rotate, and back. And we're going to do 1 more on each side. Beautiful. Shelly's making it look easy. Come back, center, take a big inhale, and then finish your last teaser. You can stretch legs, or you can always bend them back in and reach all the way down. Awesome. That is our little Pilates mat workout using our TheraBand. We hope you enjoyed it. You can find some more videos on our webpage. Check us out at www.rivercitypilates.com.